By the end of this video, you will never ever be afraid of the blank canvas ever again. My name is Mubarak Marafa, and let's talk about design. So, the blank canvas can be crippling no matter what you're creating. Overcoming it is one of the most important skills that you can gain as a creative. I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips to get over the burden of starting something new. Let's get it started. The first thing you can do is to just simply get inspired. As designers, we're really lucky. We have a lot of ways to get inspired. I mean, this could be going to Dribble, Behance, Pinterest, even Instagram. Taking a walk. We have a ton of ways to get inspired. But I personally found that sometimes I need a little bit more motivation. The actual tip is that it doesn't even have to be in the same medium. That is to say that you don't have to be watching other designers design. I personally love watching creators that are in their element, creating something that they love, right? So this could be like going on YouTube and watching like a chef like go through his process, or this could be looking at, I don't know, someone who is a painter, or someone who is doing claymation, or someone who is just creating something. DIY channels, all of these are great for getting inspiration. Recently, I've actually been really into watching producing, like music production how-tos and DJing how-tos, and this all can be really good in giving you inspiration. My next tip is to start small. No, like when I say small, I mean really small. So when I start a new project, generally I like to see the whole picture and I approach from really, really far away. But this can actually be really daunting. For example, if the project is really large, if you zoom all the way out, you see all of the moving pieces, it can be scary. So what I like to do is zoom all the way in, like really, really far in, and start with something really small. So this can be like a date picker, it can be a button, it could be a color palette. I start simple. Then I go on to design the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and soon I'm just going at 100 miles per hour. My next tip seems simple, but it's pretty important. It's to fix your environment. This isn't just like your desk or like your working area. I mean, it's good to have a clean and nice working area, and that goes a long way. But another thing that's also important is timing. So throughout my career, I've realized that with creative work, inspiration can hit literally at any time. You most likely will not be ready when it hits. So I do a lot of design work in my head while walking or laying in bed at night. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So in order to make good use of the ideas that come to you, it's important to always have something that you can reach out to where you can write your ideas down quickly. So this can be a notebook or an app in your phone. The idea is you just need to get the inspiration out of your mind quickly. That's really important. And the cool thing is when you finally sit down and it's time to work, you have a ton of ideas that you could just fall back on, you can go, and that can be a starting point for your work. The next tip I have for you is to give yourself time. No time. So deadlines suck, but they're also awesome. I actually do a lot of my best work when I have ridiculous deadlines, and I've heard other designers say the same thing as well, so I know it's not just me. So we can leverage this by giving ourselves deadlines. So this can be an hour, this can be 4 hours, this can be, I have a day to get this done. The sense of urgency will force you to start, even if you don't know what you're doing yet. The cool thing with design is you can always just iterate on it later. But what's important is you start. And also finish before that alarm clock goes off. What I found really helps with this is to get a friend that's going to keep you accountable. Ask them to check in with you on a later date to see if you've done what you said that you were going to do. This will help you keep yourself accountable. And my last tip, I like to just begin, even when I'm not particularly feeling it. So there have been several times that I just started my work with an aimless and pointless doodle, and eventually it just turned into something that I was actually proud of. I think what's critical to understand here is sometimes the act of just creating is meditative. Creating inspires more creativity. So when you're creating, even if it's not good, you're actually going through the motions, you're still creating. And what that means is that you're learning, you're focused, and you're actually producing something. So just put pen to paper and creativity will follow. So with that, I'd like to end with an interesting quote. I love this quote. It's by Maya Angelou, the writer. She wrote this about writing, but it can apply to anything. What I try to do is write. I may write for 2 weeks. The cat sat on the mat. That is that, not a rat. And it might just be the most boring and awful stuff. But I try. When I'm writing, I write. And then it's as if the muse is convinced that I'm serious and says, okay, I'll come. That's it for the video, and if you've made it this far, allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Mubarak Marafa. I'm a product designer based out of Hong Kong. If you're interested in learning more about design with me, please consider subscribing. I'm gonna do my best to release videos consistently and basically share my learning process with you. And if you're interested in coming along for the ride, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.